In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Christ is in our midst. My last year as a student at Naperville Central High School, the school decided to put up inspirational quotes around the building, painted on the walls and on the lintels above the doors, so that as students walked through the campus, they would see the great sayings and writings of people gone before. They'd be inspired to live their lives in conformity with those thoughts, with those sayings. Things ranging from our founding fathers to Atticus Finch, to religious leaders, political leaders, and even a quote from Jesus Christ. Now that quote from Jesus Christ is an interesting one. It says, "Do unto others as you would have others do unto you," which we know is the golden rule. But it's not actually the quote that interests me so much as what happened over the course of 3 days after that went up. It wasn't vandalized, there was no issue there. But when that quote was first put up on the wall, painted on the wall, it was attributed, as all the quotes were, to the person who said it. And so, next to the quote was written the words, "Jesus Christ," attributing this quote to Christ, as it was. And then the next day I walked through the hall, and the administration had painted over the word Christ, and it just simply said Jesus. And then the next day I came back, and where it had once said Christ, it now says of Nazareth. I understand the school's position. I understand why this change happened. I understand that they cannot affirm that Jesus is Christ, although we can, because we know it is true. Because Christ is not a last name, but it's a title. He is, O Christos, the one who is anointed with the Holy Spirit to come and save us. He is God's chosen and anointed Son who comes to save mankind. All of those things are tied up with that word Christ, and so, being a state and secular school, they cannot affirm that. Take no issue with that right now. That's not the point of this. This is not a separation of church and state, but more conversation about the fact that it struck me that others might consider Jesus not to be the Christ, and yet still worthy to listen to. And as I went through life and continue to, I often hear Christ referred to as a good teacher. There are many in the world today who will affirm his teachings about moral or interpersonal relationships, how we are to conduct ourselves, what we are to do with our money, as he says today, how we are to love our neighbor and do unto them as they would do unto us, as Naperville Central wants us to learn. But in doing so, fundamentally denying the rest of his teachings, where he says, "I am the light of the world," or "Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood abides in me and I in him. I and the Father are one." That he is, in fact, the Christ. Today, the rich young ruler comes forward to him and says, "Good teacher, what do I need to do to inherit eternal life?" And before Christ answers that question, he wrestles with this, who is good? Why do you call me good? It's not that Jesus Christ himself is not good, but the point that he is making when he says, "No one is good but the one God," is that I am in fact a good teacher. But when you use that term, understand what it truly means. Because the one who is good is God. And so am I. And so when he corrects this man today, he corrects him from coming up to him and treating him just as a teacher. This man makes the mistake of using the term good teacher without really fully understanding what exactly it means. Because in doing so in word, he's acknowledging Christ's divinity. He's saying, "You are good. You are the one who is good." but he asks him a question, and his posture towards him, the fact that he doesn't listen, shows that he really just treats him as a teacher, somebody worthy to listen to, but not somebody who is God incarnate. Oftentimes, this is the posture adopted by the world, by those around us, and yes, even by some within the church, that we are to listen to God, we are to listen to his teachings, but the reality that God came and dwelt among us doesn't impact our daily life. The fact that when we come forward to receive communion and eat his body and drink his blood, we are in fact receiving God within us. I've talked to a great many who feel that the high point of the service is listening to the sermon, to listen to the teachings and the writings of Scripture, and losing sight of the fact that what I'm doing right now, while important, it's not why we are here. But we are here to have an encounter with God, to stand in front of him and receive him from the chalice. And while moral teaching is necessary, it is not the only thing Christ came to do. In fact, it's just the natural outcome of what he came to do. He came to do what is impossible for us to do on our own. He came to reconcile us to himself and to one another, to reorient our relationship with his Father, to heal the wounds of Adam and Eve, to heal the wounds of Cain and Abel, and to realign our hearts towards the love of our God and the love of our neighbor. And this is something that we cannot do on our own. And this is something that the world struggles and tries to do so often, looking at Christ as a good teacher. But if he is only our teacher, there to inspire us with his moral words, and not God himself who unites us to one another, mystically and sacramentally, not the one who created us and came to join us, to be with us, to love us and give himself for us, then it doesn't matter what he taught morally, we will not be able to live up to it. What is impossible with man is our own salvation. What is possible with God is eternal life. If Christ is a teacher, that's impossible. If Christ is truly the Christ, and not just of Nazareth, then we can walk together towards salvation, his kingdom. As we enter the Christmas season, I want us to reflect on Christ's birth, not as the birth of a good teacher or a man who will rise to do great things, but remember that it is the birth of God in the flesh. That as the scriptures tell us, Emmanuel comes. Emmanuel, which means God is with us. Remember that at the beginning of the Christmas season, we have these words from Luke. What is impossible with man is possible with God. If he did not come and dwell among us, if God did not take on flesh, suffer the cross and resurrect, if he did not share in our very being, then what we think we can do on our own would not be possible. Remember that that which is impossible with good teachers is possible through Christ.